together? Everyone, shut up!
They tell people what they saw.
The only way to truly be safe?
You're not in charge anymore.
This video is going to contain spoilers from the off, so I'm warning you now. Yellowjackets is back this week with the 8th episode of Season 3, and after coming off the back of 2 eventful episodes, this one just decided that it wanted to deliver as well, with Hilary Swank's character finally making an appearance and it being revealed to be Melissa. We saw that despite marrying the daughter of the person that she and the rest of the Yellowjackets murdered, and also faking her own death, she somehow came across as the most sane out of the lot of them. With Jeff and Callie looking like they're going to turn against Shauna, the group being on the cusp of freedom, but it's seeming like younger Shauna is going to be standing in their way. And also Shauna going absolutely crazy at the end. Let's dive into the episode and discuss all of the important details. Here is Yellowjackets Season 3, Episode 8 ending explained. During this episode, we saw that the very house that Shauna went to was, in fact, Hannah's daughter Alex's. But what Shauna didn't realize was that Melissa had actually married Hannah's daughter, changed her name to Kelly, and they also now had a kid together. Something that Shauna was not only shocked by, but she didn't feel like she deserved. Oh yeah, and this was after Melissa actually faked her death. Shauna believed that Melissa was the person behind all of the strange occurrences that had been going on with her, such as being locked in the freezer, her finding her phone in the bathroom, and also her brakes failing when she was in the car. When in reality, the only thing that Melissa was behind was the sending of the tape to Shauna. Melissa sent Shauna the tape because after speaking with her therapist, she realized that she had to fully let go of it so that she could move on from the darkness that had re-entered her life after finding out that Nat had died. That's why she sent it to Shauna, because she thought that she might have wanted to do the same. This is something that Shauna might have been able to grasp if she had managed to see the note that was in the envelope. The note that we didn't know about, and the one that Callie has clearly kept to herself, as Shauna didn't even know there was a note. I wonder if in the note there was something that tied Shauna and the rest of the Yellowjackets to the crimes that actually happened, and maybe even documented the killings that took place. This could be why Callie kept a hold of it, and why Callie's opinion has seemed to have changed over the past few episodes. She went from being on her mother's side to not necessarily fearing her, but no longer recognizing her. What was clear to see in Shauna and Melissa's interaction was that Shauna was envious of the life that Melissa had, and that she seemingly was no longer plagued by the darkness that has been at the epicenter of Shauna's life ever since she left the wilderness, and it seemed like it was haunting her more so today than ever before. It's clear to see that Shauna didn't have any kind of intention when she went to the house, and she was just brandishing a knife to intimidate. However, when Melissa went to take the knife off of her, a fight ensued, and we saw Shauna take a bite out of Melissa and force her to eat the skin. Otherwise, she said she'd tell Alex about her true identity and everything that happened with Hannah. I know Shauna won that fight, but how good was it when Melissa got a hit in there? Shauna has now fully lost the plot, and she's definitely at a point where if she doesn't get the help that she needs, then she's going to pass the point of no return. I think we're seeing a side to Shauna that the rest of the Yellowjackets are about to see, with her denying the opportunity for them to leave the forest in the wilderness timeline. At this point, Melissa and Shauna are still together, despite Melissa being upset at Shauna for not checking if she was okay. But with Melissa in the present day telling Shauna how she scared her when they were out there, I think we're about to see this crazy, chaotic side to Shauna in the wilderness too. I also think that Melissa had a point with Shauna and the strange occurrences that have been happening to her. The mechanic did say that there was no foul play in the brakes failing. The phone could have definitely just been a random one, and Shauna, in her panicked state, might not have been able to open the freezer door. So I think her chaotic mindset could be driving her to the point of paranoia. Let's also add into the mix that she's killed somebody since leaving the wilderness not that long ago, and she was on the cusp of being killed by her friends. And she's not gone to therapy or seen anybody about it. So it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of it was coming from inside of her head. She is having visions of her dead friend after all. During this episode, there was a focus on a moth being drawn to the light, and it being the very thing that kills them. I think this could well hold a couple of different meanings. When Jackie appeared in Shauna's dream and mentioned the moth to the light, she said, "They're drawn to the light. Should have known better, don't you think?" I think this is something that could be symbolic of the light being present in the wilderness, which represented the group's chance of being rescued, and how the rescue mission isn't going to go to plan. I also think it means that Shauna is going to be the person that brings the darkness. We saw beams of that very light being present amongst many of the group members in the wilderness, such as when they were getting excited, smiling, and dreaming of what they were going to do when they got back home, especially now that there was a clear way out. Luxuries such as Slurpees and fantasizing about dipping fries in milkshakes, and also necessities like a toilet to use and a blanket to wrap yourself into when in bed. With Lottie, Shauna, and Ty preventing the group from following that light and what they believe could be their death, or the metaphorical death of their wilderness life that they now want to keep a hold of, that could be why she saw them and she didn't want them to enter it, because it meant that the people they'd become would be no more. Something that we heard Lottie herself say that she didn't want to lose. I thought this was another really good episode of the show. As the season has developed, it's really grown into its own, and it feels like it's gone back to its roots, which I'm pleased with. The first half of the season felt like it was dragging just a little bit. The present-day timeline story was so boring, but it now feels like there's a lot at stake and some action and mystery for it to own, and it's delivering on all fronts. With only 2 episodes to go, I feel like this season is building to a crescendo that's going to be even greater than what we had in season 2. And I can't wait to see how it's going to conclude. So there you have it, Yellowjackets Season 3, Episode 8, Ending Explained. If you want to see every episode of Yellowjackets Season 3 being broken down, then click on the card in the top corner, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future videos. What did you think of this episode? Share your thoughts in the comments. As always, thanks for tuning into the video, and I'll see you in the next one.